Hey guys, this is P.M.R.Bonez88, and today for my next horror slasher movie review, Hellraiser III, Hell on Earth. So this third installment of the Hellraiser series came in theaters on September of 1992. Now, eventually there has been mixed reviews about this third film. Some said it was good, some said it was bad, some said it was okay. But I think there's been some negative criticisms due to the lack of story, the dialogue, and of course the new breed of Cenobites. But to me, Hellraiser 3 was a very good movie. I think it was a good movie, a good sequel out of the Hellraiser franchises. I mean, the storyline wasn't too bad, and dialogue has some ups and downs, depending on which character had the bad dialogue and which one had the good dialogue. But good thing was because of Pinhead return, which starred Doug Bradley, that returned for the third time. But the one thing I really didn't like was the new breed of Cenobites. I just miss where the old Cenobites, like Chatter, Butterball, and Lady Cenobite, because they were one of old Pinhead's gang. It was so disappointed that they had to bring a new breed of Cenobites. I wasn't feeling too thrilled of the new breeds, the new Cenobite teams. It was just ridiculous.
Maybe it's because they don't want to show the same Cenobites over and over again. Reminds me of another crappy movie, which was Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Now that was a crappy movie. The only difference was, Pinhead was there throughout the whole Hellraiser series.
Well, thank you, strange masked man who interrupted me while I was doing a review.
Hey, I'm the guest star here, so cut me off some slack, will ya?
Really? Then why don't you tell me and the whole audience of who you really are?
In time.
No, seriously, tell us who you really are. Get it over with.
I said, in time. You have no patience, do you there, Bones?
Yeah, well, you know the old saying, patience is virtual.
Which would you rather prefer? That either, 1, you continue on your review, or B, you rather just keep on bashing about me and asking me the same question over and over about who I am. So what's it gonna be, Bones?
Well, I have to go with option A, and that is just finish up the review of Hellraiser 3.
Well, why don't we just make a deal?
What?
At the end of your review, I will call you and tell you who I am. Deal?
Fine.
Good.
Well, folks, sorry for the interruption. So this movie starts out with Playboy artist named J.P. Monroe. He finds and discovers this sculpture of Pinhead back in the old abandoned warehouse. Then he pays it to this bum. At first I thought, did he own the place or did he own that sculpture? Maybe not, who knows, right? There were some scenes that were unexplained, and technically I don't like when movies that don't really explain from during either the previous film or what happened, or do they have a background story.
Actually, that's not true. There were a few deleted scenes, never before seen footage, and to be exact, they could have used some of them.
But then we jump to another scene, and when we introduced to a new character named Joey, the news reporter. She goes around trying to find some interesting stories, but nothing good ever happens to her. Joey decides to go to this club called the Boiler Room to look for this girl named Terry and the artist J.P. Monroe. So she goes from the bar club to the rock and roll DJ dance club to the restaurant club. There was like all 3 different things there, so he must be rich. It's like super rich. So he's a billionaire playboy artist philanthropist. A genius? I don't know. He's not up to the level of Tony Stark is. So anyways, Terry goes up and meets Joey and decides to stay with her just for a little while. And she shows Joey the puzzle box where her friend died. And Monroe decides to meet this blonde chick and makes out and have some lovely time. She starts to get to know about him, and then he just gets a little annoyed but doesn't really care about this girl. So he just tries to kick her out, and then she starts whining and bitching and yelling. It's like, oh god. Remember I said the dialogue to every character were ups and downs? Well, this chick, oh god. She was out of it. She was starting yelling and crying. I thought Terry was the annoying one. But this chick, she's worse!
Oh, I can't take this anymore. This bitch is going down. Time to kill her.
Oh, what the hell? How'd you do that?
Time to wake up.
So eventually Pinhead wakes up from his eternal sleep, kills the girl, skins her alive. He just sucks right into his sculpture body, and eventually his pins just comes out and he talks to Monroe. So Pinhead offers JP a job. At first he refused, and I love the part where he just shoots at him, and then all the bullets just spits out right back out of his mouth. Monroe accepts his offer, so therefore he just sold his soul to the Cenobite.
Don't you mean he sold his soul to the devil?
Well, yeah, I mean Pinhead is the devil. Sort of.
Sort of.
Whatever. So Terry and Joey investigates the puzzle box and where they come from, and it shows you some previous pictures from part 2, and of course we have Ashley Lawrence returning to play as Kirsty. She only had a cameo, just only for the video shots, and of course pictures of her from part 2. So Joey sees Captain Alias Spencer from the video, and then she has all these dreams and images that he meets up with Captain Alias Spencer. So he explains to Joey of what happened during part 1 or part 2. It's most likely all about part 2, that he was the original, he was the first Cenobite ever. And if those of you didn't see my review of Hellbound Hellraiser 2, the link is up there. So the only way that they can stop Pinhead is that she brings him to his domain, so that way he can destroy the evil. Some of the characters were really quite interesting. Joey and Pinhead were the only characters that were very serious and they don't go all crazy or mashed up. He's much more poetic and very more sinister. The voice, however, is a little different from the first two, because the first two he had much more of a demonic voice, but now the third film it's much more of a normal person, just very low and very discreet. So now Pinhead, he's actually the main villain, the main character of this film. And when we see now all the effects and the Cenobites starts the reign of terror in New York City and everything is going crazy. The best scene ever was the church, where Pinhead just comes into the church and window glass starts shattering, exploding, and then where he goes up and just like takes out all the pins out of his head. That was amazing, and he just puts them right in the palm of his hand. Biggest quote of the line that everyone loved was,
"I am the way."
I must say that Doug Bradley did an excellent job of playing Pinhead for the third time, and it was really fantastic. I mean, sure, Clive Barker didn't really direct this third film, but he was involved in it because he was the executive producer. But the one that directed this third film was Anthony Hickox. Now, the last two Cenobites, which were J.P. Monroe and Terry, they became the Dreamer Cenobite, and this whole new Cenobite that Monroe became. And he had that weird machine on his head that made him twitch his head a few times. They didn't really do nothing. All they did, they was just taunting with Joey, and that was it. Not really killing her or anything. But I only wish they wouldn't brought back were Pinhead's original Cenobite teams. Or at least have a cameo of one of them. But instead they did have Doc, which was Joey's best friend, and also the cameraman, which he did turn into this camera head Cenobite. And the last two that we all know were CD and this bartender Butterball wannabe. They were only appeared just for a minute or two, and then all of a sudden they just disappeared. It was such a waste just to have new Cenobites and they don't even do nothing. I mean, they do kill just a couple of times and that's it. They just go back to the box and that was it. Best climactic ending ever was between Elliot and Pinhead seeing eye to eye each other for the very first time. And Elliot just saved Joey and brought in the evil back inside of him while he went inside of Pinhead. So at the end of this whole epic film, big epic scene where Joey creates this diamond thing that we saw in part 2. I don't know how she managed how to make that diamond. Just like all of a sudden just reconnects it and solving it before Pinhead tries to kill her. Joey just shoves this diamond right in his stomach, or maybe no, not in his stomach, in his chest, and then it just sucks him right back into the puzzle box where he belonged. Joey gets rid of the puzzle box, puts it into the cement, and then a few years later, what do we get? All these puzzle boxes showing, and which that means another Hellraiser movie to come. So, after done talking about this film, part 3 wasn't too bad, but the story, it felt like it was rushed, and it was not really explaining too much about what happened this or what happened that, and it was really just kind of spinning out of control and just going too fast, and they couldn't just calm it down or just explain of what happened next or what happened from one scene to another. But the one who did a terrific job ever was Stub Bradley, returning to play as Pinhead, and Captain Elliot Spencer. That was the best. The kills were very crazy, and especially the club scene where Pinhead just kills everyone in the boiler room. That was really intense. The only thing I find it really hilarious was the CG of Pinhead's head, and he turns to icicle and then just stabs the girl's mouth. That was so funny and hilarious.
This film could have been better. The only thing I just enjoyed were the kills. That was it. Nothing special, no story background. It was just the same old garbage. So, it was a waste.
So, just to rate this film, for Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, I would have to give this a 8.1 out of 10, which does equal to 81%, so it's actually a B-.
Well, for my rate, I will have to give it a 7 out of 10, which, yeah, unfortunately it equals to a 70%, so I have to give it a C-.
Story wasn't too bad, but like I said, it was really rushed, but the kills were very interesting and I really enjoyed them. And Returning of Pinhead, that was really great, but the dialogues to every character were kind of out of sync. Like I said, had its ups and downs, but is it a good sequel? It's a fair sequel. I would say that. It was just a fair sequel. Not as better than the first one, as always, so it doesn't beat 1 and 2. But it does beat the rest of the sequels, so yeah, I would prefer to only with the Hellraiser trilogy, because throughout the other sequel, they started to get bad and they weren't really, and the horror elements, they were starting to lose it. So if those of you who really want to see Hellraiser, I would just stick to 1, 2, and 3. I would just say call it just the Hellraiser trilogy. Forget about the rest of the sequels. And I do own this film on DVD. And this is P.M.R.Bonez88's signing off. His saying is, peace!
This is my body. This is my blood. Happy are they who come to my supper.
Wow. That went well. Speak of the devil. Hello?
Hey, Bones.
Oh, it's you. Mask Man.
Remember that promise that I told you about? That when you finish your review, that would give you my name?
You promised. Come on.
Well, let me explain this to you. I was born in the darkness. I have no memories of my family, nor my life. I don't even have a childhood memory. But my master took me, trained me, to be a Sith Lord. But I'm not just a Sith, but I'm also part demon. I live in the darkness. The dark side consumes me. So my name is none other than Dark Shadow.
Dark Shadow, huh? So that's your name, huh?
Well, you better watch yourself now. 'Cause I am gonna come for you. And I'll know where you live.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not gonna tell you where I am. And you'll never will.
I'm counting on it.
Peace.
Don't think this is the end. I will come for you, Bones. Just you wait and see.